everyone and welcome. Today I'm going to be answering all of the questions that you guys posted on the sweater weather tag, and I've already done the questions that had to do with me and Jorge in our Halloween Q&A, and now I'm just going to get in the ones that were specifically for me, and hopefully you guys enjoy this video. The first one is, which child has your personality? So I kind of made a list of the things that I feel each of the children got from me, or what, the types of characteristics I would say that we share. One of them is Ivan has my love of thinking. He is definitely a thinker. He loves even just running around just to think. And I've asked him this as a young child because I noticed he did it very young. And I said, what are you doing? And he said he's thinking. And I just thought that that was interesting because that is something that I know I love to do myself. And it's something that I share with my father. And he told me about, when you get an idea about something, let it just go over it in your head over and over and over again. And that's something that I love doing. And I know that whenever Ivan gets an idea for something, he'll just sit there and just want to talk about it with me and, tell me all of his ideas. And so that's very neat that we get to share that. And I just thought that is something very unique about him, when it comes to, in comparison to the other children. Ayla is creative and loves art like I do. She's very artistic. She loves painting and writing and all that has to do with that, and that is something that her and I share an interest in. Kira loves dancing and she loves being active. She's very hands-on, and that is something that her and I share as well. And Aria, she just has a love for babies and all things small like I do. And the other thing that's pretty unique about her is that she's very inquisitive. She just, more so than the other children, which is like to the point where you can't just give her an answer. You have to really get into it, and she just wants to know. So there are things that she knows that a lot of the other kids don't, because they didn't really ask about it, and she just wanted to know more and more and more. So that is something that is different about her and that I can relate with as well. If you could choose a profession, what would it be? So if there was nothing holding me back, I would probably love to be a talk show host like Oprah was. I remember growing up watching those shows, and there were just so many things that I loved about them. I loved that pretty much every single show was different and it dealt with different things. I loved that she made people's days. I loved that, she just shared so much and inspired so many. So that is something that I would love to do. Where did you live before you met Jorge? Well, I did share this in the last Q&A, but I will make a note of the fact that I was born in Sacramento, California, and my parents moved here when I was about 1 year old, and I've been here in Las Vegas ever since. So that is where I've been living, and it's where I still live. Okay, somebody said, your best advice for organizing before moving into a new house. My best advice is to declutter before you pack, and to label your boxes for the rooms that they're going to go in. I wouldn't say label boxes just with what's in it. I would also say label which room you would want those boxes in, and then whoever's moving you guys all in, I would say put those boxes in that room. That way, I know for myself, Jorge had to go to work and stuff right after we moved, and I didn't want to have to be going through the garage to, pick out the boxes that I need to unpack and stuff. And for me, I got pretty unpacked within the first week. maybe it didn't even take me that long. I was just so set on being moved in, and I tried to make things as simple as possible, so really simplifying will definitely help. And packing up everything in advance, all the stuff that you really don't need to get to. You don't need to get to all of your kitchen gadgets and all of that kind of stuff. So some of those items, some of those rooms can really be packed up, and then you just keep out like what you would use it when you go on a trip. Which item would you spend your last money on? I've had several times where I've just had maybe $5 left or something, and do you know what I always spend my money on is with that money I would go and get my Grammy flowers, because yeah, she really enjoys flowers, and I love her knowing that I'm thinking of her in that way. And I don't want to wait until it's too late to get them flowers, you know, I don't know. Anyway, moving on. That's what I would do. That's where my money would go, would be to give Grammy flowers. Is Grammy a perfectionist? We did discuss this in a vlog, but I don't know if all of you guys watch my vlogs, so I let Grammy answer that in that vlog vault that I shared for October. But she says she thinks so. I'm going to say what I think on this. I believe that Grammy is very particular about things, very set in her ways, but I do not consider her a perfectionist, because there are just things that she's just like whatever about. And you know, for instance, like trying to sit there and I tried to show her how to fold a fitted sheet, because I just watch her do it, and she's just, you know, rolls it up, and it's just funny. There are things that she wants done a certain way, but she's not a perfectionist about it. So I don't know how to describe that any more than that. Okay, and have you always dressed so modest? I wouldn't say that I always had modesty on my mind. I really looked up to Christina Aguilera, and let's just say the way that she dressed was not modest. And you know, I remember getting a magazine of hers back when I was listening to her music, and you know, loving the way she did her makeup. And so I did like really heavy makeup and showed some midriff, and yeah, looking back on it now, it's like, why did I do that? But I feel a lot of times, sometimes young girls go through that stage of not knowing, like you want to attract, but you don't know what would be attractive. And there's a difference to me now, definitely, and what I would like to teach my girls, from being attractive and just being like attracting the wrong type of attention, I would say. My style has been evolving over the years, and I've definitely, the older I get, the more modest I want to be. So I still feel like it's changing. I still feel like, you know, once I reach my 40s, I'm going to want to dress different than when than my 30s. And such a big difference from my 20s to my 30s as well. And just, you know, trying to see what items are more classic than what is just trendy. Have you always been a minimalist? This is the best way that I can put this, is that I lay my treasures up in heaven, and I try not to lay them up here. I do not try to get so attached to something that I would make somebody feel bad if it broke, or that if I didn't have it anymore, that I would just be so torn up about it and upset. I try to do the same with my schedule. I like to keep an open schedule so that, you know, when things come my way, I can be more accepting of it. I don't like to I don't like things to be too hectic because it's very stressful for me and for my family. And so yeah, that's pretty much it. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and until next time, I hope that you guys